Hello, this is Ami Diamond. In this episode, I'd like to talk about 13 ways to improve productivity when working on SharePoint document libraries. So we're now on the team site and have a library called Demo1, and I have uploaded a file. So the first tip I can give, if we have lots of files, then what we could do is actually mark the document, and we have on top pin to top, or we in the three dots we have also pin to top. Now we see the document on top, and if we have many files, then actually we can locate it very fast. If we want to unpin it, we can go to the three dots, and under edit pin we can do unpin, and now it's not from the top. So we got to tip number 2. Use the filters and search box. Okay, so the filter is already here. Now if we have multiple columns, metadata, then we can filter by them. So let's create a choice column which is called status, and we will have the values new, old, and that's it. Press save. Now I can tag the document. I'm pressing on the I, and I'll have here the option to tag the document. Same way I can do if I click on the edit grid, I get to the same place where I can tag. Okay, now we have the filter. Now if we don't see this metadata in the filter, we'll click on the arrow of the column, go to column settings, and we have pin filter pane, and now we see in the filter the column, and we can filter by it. In addition, we have the search box where we can search, and you see it found top. If I search for something else, if I search for list, it also finds it. So now we'll go to tip number 3, which is actually using metadata instead of folders. So as you saw, I added a column, and instead of having the name, instead of having within the name the status old, I added another metadata, which is actually describing the column, the file. And well, let's say that the classical way of file share was to create folders and subfolders and all of that. And actually the new concept is not to have it all folders, because it's really hard to find it, but more to filter by the column metadata. So instead of having a folder, I click on new and click folder and have IT, and if I had another folder called HR, then instead I could have had a column which is called department. That's the depart, and in the column, this column, we could put multiple values. So this could have HR, IT, and we would have FI. So actually we could tag this document instead of putting it in a folder with one of the values of the department. This way, for instance, tagged it as HR, and now I don't need the folder. All documents that are belonging to HR will be here. Still lets you do that, but it's not recommended. Additional way, tip number 4 is actually creating views and grouping them. So let's say we have, I'll upload some documents, some more documents, yeah. And actually here I will use the fast way of edit in grid, or what was once called quick view, quick edit. So I'm entering data, and the status also, add the status here, and not to forget to exit the grid view. So what we can do is we can go here and actually choose to create a new view. Here we have multiple possibilities. We can create a list, a gallery, or a calendar. Let's leave this as a list. Actually, this is more intended for a list and not document libraries. Let's call this by department, and let's say I want only HR. By department. I'll create group, create. Now I can edit actually the current view, and I can choose which columns I want. And I can even define how I want to sort it, by which column. This is the classical way. And I can filter, so I could say, let's say I want to only see what we have here, only status or department. Let's look for department, which is equal to HR. So I click OK. Now this view is showing me only HR. You see I can choose between all documents and everything. In another example, I actually can do the filtering and then save it. In this case, I will want to group by the department. So I'll click on the arrow here and do group by department. Now you see I have a grouping of all departments. It also writes the number, and now I can save this as a new view. So let's call it group by department. So now we have all of these. Additionally, what we can do is tip number 5 is to create alert. So if I go to the 3 dots, I have alert me. I could actually define what's the name of the alert, who will receive the alert, how will it be received by mail, and what type of change. If it's all of the changes, if it's a new item that was created, or an item that was modified or deleted. And I also can decide when I will receive the alert, if it's immediately or daily or weekly. And then I will receive a mail. What we can do also is use tip number 6 is using version history, document version history. So if we go to the 3 dots, we see here version history. If we don't see that, then actually we need to set the version. I can show you where. Here you see each time I did a change, I see it. I can decide if to view it or restore it. In some cases, I can even decide if to delete it. You see, view, restore. That means that even then that, okay. set document library to open always in a local app instead of the web. So if I automatically click here, it opens in the web. And if I want to open it in local, I can go to edit and click open in desktop. And then it opens in desktop. But if I want to force that it will always open in desktop, then what I can do is to do some settings in the document library. So what I will do is I'll go to the gear, top gear, and go to library settings. In library settings, I can go to under general settings to advanced settings. And here I can define open document in browser. By default, it's in the server and the web. But if I change it always to open in client, then you will see then if I press OK, it will actually open always the document in the Office app on the Windows. Okay, so next tip number 8 is possibility to export to Excel. Let's look for the. Now this is used more for list, but sometimes you want to just get a list of all of the documents. So all you need to do is to click export to Excel, and we have a list that is list of the documents. It also links it. I need to enable this. It's asking me to log in. Let's do okay, seems to be some kind of a problem, but believe me, it opens up as expected. Here we go. You see, so even the folders we have, and it's links to including the metadata. So we go back and we got to add shortcut to OneDrive. This possibility actually, if I click here, it will open the OneDrive and add it in the OneDrive links. It's actually not that recommended. It's sometimes quite comfortable, but what happens is it causes problems when you try to sync the document library. So even though it's possible to use it, please don't use it. It's really a problem. The next topic is actually, as I mentioned, to edit in grid. So edit in grid lets you maintain the information like in Excel to update the metadata. As you saw, if I mark here one of those, I can go to the side and drag, and this way I can also edit quite fast. I have an undo here, by the way, that can let you undo things. Next topic is topic 11. We can move and copy files between the same document library and other libraries. So if I mark this document, or I can mark a folder, let's take a, and as you see here, I either click on the three dots and I have move or copy, So let's say I want to move this. It will ask me, where do you want to move, within this library or OneDrive or to another site. So in this example, let's say in this library, it's asking me where do I want to move it within the library. So let's choose IT. I can create here a new folder. If not, I just do move. Now it moved it from here to the HR or to the IT as I asked. The copy does the same thing. As you saw, it's also possible to move it totally to, or copy it to a totally different site. You see, these are the sites that I visited. So I can choose HR5. Now it will let me choose from the document libraries, and I can create a new folder, and I can say copy it here, and now I can see what happened. So it copied it, and this is the functionality. Topic number 12 out of 13. So automate. So out of the box, we can use Power Automate or Flow is something in the background that can make things faster and move everything. What we have here, actually, if I mark a document, I will have under Automate Request Sign Off. Request Sign Off will actually, let's try it. It will run a flow where you can define who do you want the person that will approve. And first of all, we need to sign in. Yeah. Create the flow. It will ask, who do you want to sign? Yeah, it's starting. So choose somebody. So let's send it to Alex. And a message. Please. And I run it, and then the Alex will receive a mail to approve. As far as I understand, also you see another column has been added. It's pending. Once Alex receives it and approve, it will change the status. So this is one one out of the box possibility. Of course, if you go to automate, you will see that you can create your own flow to choose from templates there. If I have a column which is actually a date column, I'll create a date which is called due date. Then if I choose automate, I'll have also a flow which is called send a reminder. It asks based on what? So based on the due date, and actually it will run a flow and say how many days before this date do you want me to send a mail. So I'm clicking. So this is the name. I can say okay, 30 days before the date that I enter, send me a reminder. So once a day, I think it will go, and of course I need to enter a date here. If not, then it will not do anything. So let's put a date. So let's say the 30th. And then it will be sent something. For some reason the document didn't happen, but this is the idea. And the last thing, of course, is share your document. Instead of attaching it to Outlook, we can click the share button. We can choose what type of share, if with anyone or with only people in the organization or specific people. We can choose if to give them edit or not, and if to block download, for instance, and okay, let's do apply. We need to give a name, and we can write a message, and we press send, and actually we're sharing the document. Now if the colleague is member of this 365 group, then he will have access anyway. If not, it might give unique permissions on this document, so you need to be aware of it. So this is we went through 13 ways to improve productivity when working with SharePoint Document Library. Please go through them. Yes, thank you for listening, and please subscribe to the channel. I hope you enjoy it. Goodbye. Have a good day. Bye-bye.